to ensure law and order prevails in the society. When it comes to the CBI, it possessed immense trust of the public initial phase. In fact, the judiciary used to be flooded with requests for transfer of investigations to CBI, as it was a symbol of impartiality and independence. Whenever the citizenry doubts the skill and impartiality of its own state police, they sought investigation by CBI as they wanted justice to be done. But with the passage of time, like every other institution of repute, the CBI has also come under deep public scrutiny. Its actions and inactions have often raised questions regarding its credibility in some cases. As an institution, you have so many achievements to your credit. In the process, many of your personnel have put their health and life at risk. Some have also made supreme sacrifices. In spite of all this, it is ironical that people hesitate to approach the police in times of despair. The image of the institution of police is regrettably tarnished by allegations of corruption, police excesses, lack of impartiality, and close nexus with political class. Often, the police officers approach us with the complaint that they are being harassed after the change in the regime. When you try to enter yourself to the powers, you will have to face the consequences. The need of the hour is to reclaim social legitimacy and public trust. The first step to gain the same is to break the nexus with the political executive. Often, the best and talent enter the system in expectation of recognition and applause. But if the threat of infections system looms large, honest and upright officers find it difficult to stand by their oath. The truth is that no matter how deficient and non-cooperative the other institutions may be, if you all stand by your ethic and stand united with integrity, nothing can come in the way of your duty. In fact, this stands true for all the institutions. This is where the role of leadership comes into play. The institution is as good or as bad as its leadership. A few upright officers can bring a revolution within the system. We can either go with the flow or we can be a role model. The choice is ours. Here I would like to point out a few issues that are affecting the system. Lack of infrastructure, lack of sufficient manpower, inhuman conditions and especially at the lowest rank, lack of modern equipment, questionable methods of procuring evidence, officers failing to abide the rule book, the lack of accountability of erring officers. There are certain issues which leads to delay trials, lack of public prosecutors and standing counsels, seeking adjournments, arraying hundreds of witnesses and filing voluminous documents in pending trials, undue imprisonment of other trials, change in priorities with the change of political executive, cherry picking of the evidence, repeated transfers of police officers leading to a change in the direction of the investigation. These issues often lead to the acquittal of the guilty and incarnation of the innocent. This severely affects the public trust on the system. The courts cannot simply monitor every step. Reform of the police system is long overdue in our country. The Ministry of Home Affairs has itself recognized the glaring need of the same. In the status note on police reforms in India, I quote, "Police reforms has been on the agenda of governments almost since independence, but even after more than 50 years, the police is seen as selectively efficient, unsympathetic to the underprivileged. It is further accused of politicalization and criminalization. In this regard, one needs to note that the basic framework for policing in India was made way back in 1861, with little changes thereafter, whereas the society has undergone dramatic changes, especially in the post-independence times. The public expectations from police have multiplied and newer forms of crime have surfaced. The policing system needs to be reformed to be in tune with the present day scenario and upgraded to efficiently deal with the crime and criminals, uphold human rights and safeguard the legitimate interest of one and all, unquote. It is an officially acknowledged fact that there is an urgent requirement for modernization of the police system, and there should be a political will to ensure democratic policing. Without such a reform, the police stand to appear out of touch and outdated. The justice delivery system in India draws its legitimacy from the Constitution. Every institution within our democracy must derive its legitimacy either directly from the Constitution or from the law that is made in the true spirit of the Constitution. Unfortunately, our investigating agencies still do not have the benefit of being guided by a comprehensive law. The need of the hour is the creation of an independent, autonomous investigating agency. For instance, in spite of various issues affecting the Indian judiciary, the public still reposes its faith upon the institution. This faith is largely due to the inherent autonomy and commitment to the Constitution and laws by the judiciary. There is an immediate requirement for the creation of an independent umbrella institution for the investigating agencies, so as to bring various agencies like CBI, SFIO, ED, etc. under one roof. This body is required to be created under a statute, clearly defining its powers, functions and jurisdictions. Such a law will also lead to much needed legislative oversight. It is imperative for the organization to be headed by an independent and impartial authority to be appointed by a committee akin to the one which appoints the director of CBI. The head of the organization can be assisted by deputies who are specialists in different domains. This umbrella organization will end multiplicity of proceedings. A single instance these days gets investigated by multiple agencies, often leading to dilution of evidence, contradictions in depositions, prolonged incarnation of innocents. It will also save the institution from being blamed as a tool of harassment. Once an incident is reported, the organization should decide as to which specialized wing should take up the investigation. One additional safeguard that needs to be built into the scheme is to have separate and autonomous wings of prosecution and investigation in order to ensure total independence. A provision in the proposed law for the annual audit of the performance of the institution by the appointing committee will be a reasonable check and balance. There is a need for regular and upgradation of knowledge, deployment of the state-of-the-art technology and international exchange programs to learn the best practices. Our forensic facilities are in need to overhaul, considering the changing nature and complexities of the crime. With the police and the public order under the state list, and rightly so, the burden of investigation is primarily on the state police. There is no reason why state investigating agencies, which handle most of investigations, cannot enjoy the same level of credibility as that of the national agency. The state agencies must be equipped to deal with increasing challenges in the field of investigation. The proposed law, central law for the umbrella investigation body, can be suitably replicated by the states. Harmonious relationships should exist between the state and central agencies. Collaboration is the key. After all, the goal of all these organizations is to secure justice. In times of emergency and crisis, the police are often the first responder. They must be provided with adequate infrastructural and safety aids. In case anything untoward happens, the government must provide adequate support to the bereaved families and secure their future interests. There is a glaring need to encourage honest and selfless workers within the system. I am glad that the CBI has the tradition of honoring its heroes. Today I had the privilege of presenting President Medal, Police Medal to 34 officers and CBI Gold Medal to 1 officer and the DP Kuli Award to 2 officers. The nature of the job forces you to work under pressure around the clock. Your health, both physical and mental, needs to a lot of attention. It is here that the role of police welfare associations assumes great significance. They should be able to advocate the causes of the officers and the staff meaningfully and successfully. My wish for greater presence of women in the legal profession stands true for every institution. An issue that needs addressing at this stage is the representation of women in the criminal justice system. Often, women feel deterred in reporting certain offences due to a lack of representation. Their presence in the policing system will further encourage hesitant victims to approach the criminal justice system and report crimes. Relations between the community and the police also need to be fixed. This is only possible if police training includes sensitization workshops and interaction to inspire public confidence. It is imperative for the police and the public to work together to create a safe society. Ultimately, you must remember that your allegiance must be to the Constitution and the rule of law, and not to any person. When you stand upright, you shall be remembered for your courage, principle, and valor. The political executive will change with time, but you, as an institution, are permanent. Be impermeable and be independent. Pledge solidarity to your service. Your fraternity is your strength. Jai Hind, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Director Central Bureau of Investigation to present a memento to the chief guest of today's ceremony as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, sir. Now I request Special Director Shri Praveen Sinha to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, the Chief Justice of India, the Honorable Judges of Supreme Court, Honorable Judge of the Delhi High Court, Shri Suresh N. Patel, Central Vigilance Commissioner, Shri P.K. Tripathi, Secretary DOP, Government of India, Shri S.K. Jaiswal, Director CBI, distinguished guests, former directors of CBI, senior officers, Government of India and State Government, medal winners and their family members, past and present members of CBI family, friends from print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the Central Bureau of Investigation. At the outset, I thank Honorable Respected Justice N.V. Ramana, the Chief Justice of India, for having accepted our invitation to deliver the 19th D.P. Kohli Memorial Lecture. Sir, we are indeed grateful for your extremely erudite, enlightening and thought-provoking address on this subject of great contemporary relevance: democracy, role and responsibilities of investigative agencies. Your Lordship has emphasized the urgent requirement of police reforms and police modernization, enhanced women's participation in police, of the accountability of police and law enforcement organizations towards the citizens of the country. Their fairness and transparency holds the key to preserve the democratic principles of our great country. The credibility and image that a public institution needs to build in order to win the trust and confidence of its citizens. Sir, I assure you that your inspiring words of wisdom will definitely guide and motivate us in CBI and the other investigating agencies to further endeavor towards strengthening the democratic institutions of our great nation. I also thank the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Srimati Indra Banerjee, Honorable Justice Vikram Nath, Honorable Justice M.N. Sundaresh, Honorable Justice Anirudh Bose for having honored us by their gracious presence, sparing valuable time out of their busy schedule. I also thank Honorable Justice A.K. Mendiratta of Delhi High Court for your kind presence. We are extremely grateful to Sri Suresh N. Patel, Central Vigilance Commissioner, and Sri Pradeep Kumar Tripathi, Secretary, Department of Personnel and Training, Government of India, for having spared their valuable time to grace this occasion. We are indeed grateful to the former directors of CBI, to the distinguished dignitaries, the distinguished guests and invitees present here who have taken the pains of joining us on this day. I take this opportunity to also congratulate the medal winners and their family members and sincerely hope that they will continue their good work in the times to come. I also take this opportunity to thank the members of the electronic and print media present here in large numbers to cover the event. I am also thankful to the Delhi Police for having made excellent security arrangements for this program. Lastly, it could not have been possible to hold this event without the untiring efforts of the officers and staff of CBI under the guidance of the Director CBI, Shri S.K. Jaiswal. I express my sincere gratitude to all of them. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I request all to please join for high tea. Thank you.